Hello, friends. That's right. It's your pal Kyle Millar here with, of course, the Kyle Millar Show. And once again, we're going to practice grammar, pronunciation, common mistakes, questions and answers, essentials, things that you need to know and you need to master if you want to significantly improve your English. So let's get started. My name is Kyle Millar, and welcome to the Kyle Millar Show. All right, friends, it is that time. I always say the same thing. Before you do anything, you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to tear a muscle in the gym. So what do? You warm up. You stretch. Hay que estirar un poco, no? You got to stretch out those arms. Stretch out your tongue a little bit, maybe, here with the English. Warm up your vocal cords. Whatever you have to do, now's the time. And to do that, together, let's step into the warm-up gym.
The warm-up gym.
All right, folks, here we are in the warm-up gym. We're going to begin with 10 sentences of translation. That's right, I'll give you the sentence in Spanish, and you say it in English, of course. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? En voz alta? Out loud. That's right, you can say aloud or out loud. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Number 1. Tú sabes lo que quiero. You know what I want. Hombre, tú sabes lo que quiero, eh? You know what I want. You know what I want. What I want. You know what I want. Number 2. No sé nada acerca de ti. Es que no sé nada acerca de ti. I don't know anything about you. Now be careful here. If you said at home, I don't know nothing, me duele la cabeza. I get a headache when I hear that. It's a double negative. I don't like being negative at all, much less double negative. Come on. You can't say, I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. No sé nada acerca de ti. I don't know anything about you. Okay. Aprenderás muchas cosas muy pronto. You'll learn a lot of things very soon. That's right. Aprenderás, you will. This is the future with will. Aprenderás, you will learn. If I say vas a aprender, you are going to learn. Aprenderás, you will learn. You will learn a lot of things very soon. But here we're going to link the words together. We're going to use a contraction. Instead of saying you will learn, 9 out of 10 native English speakers will say you'll. You'll learn a lot of things very soon. It's true. If you keep watching this show, trust me, you'll learn a lot of things very soon. You will. I promise. Okay. No hay nada que tú me puedas enseñar. No hay nada. There's nothing you can teach me. Kind of pessimistic, isn't it? There's nothing you can teach me. Jeez. Okay. Number 6, here we are. Sorry, number 5, friends, number 5. Tal vez no, pero ya veremos. Maybe not, but we'll see. Ya veremos. We'll see. We will, with the contraction, we'll see. Ya veremos. We'll see. We'll see. ¿Cuánto tiempo dura la clase? How long does the class last? Durar, to last. How long does the class last? ¿Cuánto tiempo dura? It lasts. It lasts. So remember, if we have an answer, the subject is it, third person singular, the verb to last, the verb gets an S, right? My brother drinks lots of water. He sits at a desk. Rob stands behind the camera. With an S, third person singular, the verb gets an S. So here, if I say, dura hasta la hora de comer. It lasts until lunchtime. So please don't say it's last or it last. No, it lasts. What's the subject? The subject is it. He, she, it. These are third person, so the verb in the present gets an S. That's a rule, friends. I don't make the rules, I just have to tell you about them, okay? Cuánto tiempo dura la clase? How long does the class last? It lasts until lunchtime. ¿Por qué dura tanto tiempo? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué dura tanto tiempo? Why does it last so long? ¿Por qué dura tanto tiempo? Why does it last? Why does it last so long? Now we could say, why does it last so much time? But it doesn't sound natural to me. Why does it last so long? This is a long class. Why does it last so long? Porque las clases de danza siempre duran mucho. Clases de danza? Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about a dance class here, people, not an English class. Come on. Dance because dance classes always last mucho. They always last a long time. Long time. Yeah, because dance classes always last a long time. They do. Okay, last one. Okay, are you ready? La última. Here we go. ¿Te gusta la clase? Do you like the class? Hey, do you like the class? Espero que sí, I hope so. Do you like? ¿Te gusta la clase? Do you like the class? And I hope you do. And if you're paying attention to the class, we have just finished our warm-up gym, and we're ready to move on. Expression of the day. That's right, we're all warmed up, so it's time for today's expression of the day. That's right. And we've got a good one for you today. It's an interesting expression. The expression today is to butter someone up. To butter someone up. ¡Qué curioso! Butter, eso es, mantequilla. Now, first of all, butter, we're using butter as a verb. You know, this morning I got up and I made a piece of toast. What did I put on toast? My toast? Butter. Yeah, I buttered my toast. I like buttered toast. To butter. Now, so I buttered the toast. I buttered it up. I buttered up my toast. But this expression is not about toast. It's about, in Spanish, you often say, hacer la pelota, a little bit. Sometimes you say kissing up to the boss, for example, to someone, to butter someone up. It's similar to that idea. But if you're buttering someone up, you're trying to condition them to make a decision in your favor. So imagine, I know that the boss, in a few months, he's going to be giving some raises. He's going to raise the salaries of a few people. So I start buttering him up. I say, hey, man, you know, I think we've done a really good job with these shows. I think they're really popular and things are going really well. And by the way, you've got a great haircut. And I like your suit these days. You know, I'm buttering him up. I'm saying nice things because I'm trying to impress him. Not just to impress him in general, but because he's making a decision and I want to influence that decision. So I'm buttering him up. Now you're listening to the show, you're watching the show, the Kyle Millar Show. And you say, we've come to the show, Kyle, to improve our English. But you get so much more than that here. It's not just English, folks. You're learning history. You're learning all kinds of things. I want to tell you the origin of this. Now, I'm not 100% sure of the origin, but according to our research team, trust me, it's a big team, doing a lot of research, this goes back to India. And apparently what they used to do was there were festivals where they would throw balls of butter, or ghee, which is like kind of like a clarified butter, they would throw it at statues of the gods in a sign of respect. Now, if you respect me, I wouldn't hope that you'd throw a ball of butter at me. But in India, maybe 600 years ago, it was the thing to do. It was cool to throw butter at these statues of these gods. So they would throw statues, and it was their way of praising that god, showing their respect. So somewhere between now and the last 600 years, someone said, okay, we're going to adapt this to an expression in English, well, an expression to butter up, you're buttering up the statue. You're throwing this butter on someone. You're showing praise. You're trying to gain the respect of someone. So from that came the expression to butter someone up, to butter him up.
Very good. Pronunciation.
Well, yes, friends, it is time for today's pronunciation. Oh, boy. Yes, the time has come. Time for today's pronunciation. Today we're going to practice pronouncing an important letter, an important sound. I'm talking about the Y. ¿Por qué? No, not por qué. I mean Y as in the letter, you know, like YMCA. Do you do that dance? YMCA. Y. Y. So if you say, for example, yellow, the color yellow, it's not jello. Jello. No. Yellow. Jello is gelatina. You go down to the supermarket, you can buy that brand of gelatin called Jello. J-E-L-L-O. Jello. Okay? So with the J, we have two very different sounds, and for some mysterious reason, Spanish speakers often reverse the sounds. They'll say jello for the color, and then they'll say, for example, the sound of Jerry or George. They'll say Jerry, George. But it's the opposite. So if you think of, for example, George Bush, George. So here we have, in fact, the G, but it's the sound as it's the same as the J sound of a word like Jerry. Jerry Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. Jerry, Jerry, or Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry's ice cream. It's not Ben and Jerry, but Ben and Jerry. So how do we pronounce the J? Well, we have J, J, J. If we start with a CH, think of the CH sound. We have ch, ch, like the word cherry. Cherry, which is a delicious flavor, isn't it? Cherry. So we take the CH sound, and then we activate the vocal cords, and we have ch, 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 j, 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 j. Once I introduce the vocal cords, I'm vibrating the vocal cords through that CH sound, and I get a pretty good sounding j, 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 Jerry. Ben and Jerry's cherry ice cream, for example. J, 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 Jerry. And then that's the same sound as the G of George, George Bush. So very different from, for example, yogurt. I'm looking for yogurt. No, I'm looking for yogurt. Yogurt, cherry yogurt. Jerry's, Ben and Jerry's cherry ice cream. Jerry, cherry. So these are sounds that you have to be familiar with. You have to practice. Okay, so the J, start with the CH, activate the vocal cords. Activating the vocal cords on the CH, you have the J, 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 the J sound or the G. Okay, and then when you want the Y, it's more like a smiley sound. Yee, yellow, yes, yo-yo, yippee, yee. My mouth is more broad with the Y sound. Okay, yes. And when I say George, look at my lips. You see this? See this sound, how my lips are like this? And then with the Y sound, yes, yellow, yo-yo, yippee. Okay? So with these little tips, you can improve your pronunciation working on isolated sounds. Okay, very important to isolate a sound, practice it until it sounds natural and comes natural to you.
Make, do, go, come, take, bring.
What's the difference?
All right, it is time for today's What's the Difference? What's the difference? We have two different options. What's the difference? I'm talking about come and go. This is easy, right? But people make mistakes with this. Come and go. Remember, you always come here and you go there. Come here, go there. So for example, if I am in Miami and I decide to go to Canada, I call my mother and I say, Mom, I'm coming to Canada because I'm going to approach my mother. I'm going to be approaching her. Acercándose a ella. So in that perspective, I'm coming, and she tells her friends, oh boy, Kyle is coming to visit. But then, talking about the same action, if I talk to my friend Rob and I say, hey, I'm going to Canada. Voy a Canada. Voy a ir a Canada. Voy a viajar a Canada. I'm talking about the same action. But in that conversation, I would use the verb to go because I'm traveling away. Okay? So then imagine I get on the airplane. I don't know if they still have phones. They don't have phones on airplanes anymore, do they? Anyway, imagine I'm on an old plane that has a phone in the back of the seat, one of those excessively priced telephones that pops out and you make one call. So I have two calls, actually. So I take the phone and I think I'm going to make two calls. I'm going to call my friend Rob, who's in Florida. I'm on an airplane. I'm flying through the air, and all he hears is, shh, what's happening? And I say, Rob. He says, where are you? And I say, I'm on the airplane. I'm going to Canada. And he says, oh my gosh, good. Have a good trip. And I'm going because I'm traveling away. And then I hang up the phone. Very expensive call, but I have just enough money for one more call. So I get on the phone and I call my friend in Canada, my friend Kevin. Now he lives in Canada and I'm going to be visiting. I call him up and he says, who is this? And I say, it's Kyle. He says, where are you? It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel. I say, I'm in an airplane. What are you doing? I'm coming to Canada. Now I say I'm coming because I'm approaching him. So again, the same action, when I talk to the person I'm traveling away from, I use going. When I talk to the person who I am approaching, I use coming. Now afterwards, when we talk about, it gets a little more, well, it's no more complicated, but people start to make mistakes when you add the term back, volver. So volviendo, it's the same thing. I'm coming back or I'm going back. So then I'm in Canada and I have a great vacation. I'm there for 2 weeks, I have a great time. And they say, well, it's time for me to go. I'm going back. I say, you're leaving? I say, yeah, I'm going back. I'm going to Florida. Okay. So I get on and I say, well, I'm going to Florida. So I leave and I go to Florida. But then, imagine I call my friend in Florida. I'm in Canada. I call my friend. He says, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm coming back to Florida tomorrow. I need you to pick me up at the airport because I'm coming back. Estoy volviendo. So again, the same action. We've added the term back to mean volver. Volviendo, to come back or to go back. So in order to use those terms properly, you have to understand the difference between come and go. So remember, you come here and you go there. It's really not that difficult, but you do have to understand the difference and then consider if you add again, go back, all these terms, the rule underneath is the same. Okay? Come here and go there.
Interrogative challenge.
All right, friends, it is time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the interrogative challenge. Yes, here we are one more time with today's 5 sentences. 5 sentences. I'm going to give you the answer, 5 answers, and I need you to ask me the 5 questions. Okay? So pay attention to the information that I stress. If I say it's red, you'll say, what color is it? Okay? Asking for the information that I stress. Okay, number 1. I'm a teacher. What do you do? I'm a teacher. What do you do? Okay, or what's your job? But most commonly, what do you do? I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How are you? Now notice we're going to use the word how because it's temporary. What are you? What do you do? I'm a teacher. What is he like? He's friendly and funny. How is he today? When we talk about temporary characteristics, that's when we use how. If it's permanent or long-term, we tend to use what. Okay? Okay, number 3. He's working. What is he doing? ¿Qué está haciendo? What is he doing? He's working. Okay, number 4. He's tall and slim. What does he look like? Ooh. So here we've added to look like. What does he look like? So this is permanent. I mean, he's a tall person. I'm not saying how does he look today. Imagine I saw him yesterday and he was really angry. So did you see the boss? Yesterday he was really angry, but how did he look today? Oh, he looked better today. He looked more content today. So notice the same rule. I'm using how when I talk about temporary status. I'm using what when I talk about a more permanent or long-term status, okay? So he's tall and slim. What does he look like? Okay. Now, he's funny. He's funny and easy to get along with. What's he like? What's he like? Yeah, what's he like? So here, it's a permanent characteristic, what he's like. We're talking about his personality. So what is he like for personality? What is he like? He's funny and smart. What does he look like? He's tall and thin. Now another similar type of question is, what does he like? Oh, he likes pizza and watching movies. So think about that. What does he like? He likes pizza, eating pizza and watching movies. What is he like? He's friendly and funny. What does he look like? He's tall and thin. Now you could also say, who does he like? Oh, he likes his girlfriend, Mary. Yeah, he likes her a lot. Who does he like? He likes Mary. What does he like? Pizza. What is he like? He's friendly. What does he look like? He's tall. So you might find this challenging because it is. It can be a little bit challenging and it causes a lot of challenges for students learning English, but you do have to master these types of questions. Let's do one more. Uno más. You're saying, Kyle, another one? All right, one more. I'm in a good mood today. I'm generous with you, okay? Here we go. A different topic. He comes here twice a week. How often does he come here? ¿Con qué frecuencia viene aquí? How often? Now here you have some freedom. You can say how often or how often. Often? Some people say often. Some people say often. Often? Often. How often does he come here? Oh, he comes here twice a week. He comes here. Kyle, how often do you cut your fingernails? I cut my fingernails twice a week. How often do you get a haircut? I get a haircut once a month, once every 6 weeks. How often do you? So when we use often, remember, we are asking for a frequency, okay? So here, he comes here twice a week. How often does he come here? Okay. Now, on the show today, well, we've seen a lot of different things on our program today. We warmed up with sentences of translation using essential grammar. I recommend you practice those. We saw the expression to butter someone up, the key pronunciation of the J sound and the Y sound, and we've also practiced to come and go and essential question structures. All right, we're going to finish there, but don't worry, I'll be back soon with plenty more. See you next time.